Hello and welcome back to another one of Paul's beer reviews. Hope you're all doing well. I've got a lager to review for you. It's a lager I purchased in Aldi, and it's a lager from Williams Brothers, who do make a very good lager. But this is a lager with a difference. This is a cherry lager, and it's called Cherry Baby. Cherry Baby. Cherry lager coming in at 4.8% ABV. Really, really like the can. That popped off the shelf straight away. Big pink can. Simple sort of cherry drawing. But Cherry Baby, cherry lager from Williams Brothers, like I say, who do brew a very good lager. It says, clear, bright and refreshing lager beer, subtly hopped with a backbeat of cherry fruits. I paid was it £1.20, I think, for a can of this. 120, 129, something like that. So pretty cheap. Cherry Baby is a bright, clear cherry lager. A backbeat of cherry fruit defies convention, while the Germanic ale yeast delivers an underlying body that is balanced by subtle hops. Simultaneous, I say it right one day, simultaneous softness and snap deliver a refreshing and utterly enjoyable drinking experience. It says that this is canned exclusively for Aldi by Williams Brothers Brew Co, who are in Alloa in Scotland. Bonnie, Scotland. Awful Scottish accent, I do apologise for that one. But yeah, Williams Brothers. They were selling their, I think they literally called it their craft lager. They were selling that in 4-packs in Lidl earlier in the year, and I loved it. I think it's a belting lager. Really, really good lager. I've had some really good beers from Williams Brothers. I've had some crap beers from Williams Brothers as well. So they're a brewery that are kind of middle ground for me. Because this one's been brewed exclusively for Aldi, there's no pissing ingredients on the can. There's loads of spiel about how many calories are in it, and there's allergy advice. They've got the brewery's address, the website, williamsbrothersbrew.com, how to store it, and then it's just Aldi information that nobody really cares about. I don't know why. If anyone can explain to me, why is it that beers that are brewed exclusively for Aldi and Lidl, why don't they list the ingredients on them? What's the issue? What's the deal? Really bothers me, because at this stage I have no idea what I'm drinking. Says it's a lager with cherry in it. I mean, it doesn't even say there's cherry in it. It just says it's a cherry flavoured lager, right? Either way, it's 4.8%, 440ml can, 120 I think I paid for it. Let's get this cherry lager from Williams Brothers out of its can, into the glass, see if it's any good. I'm getting a subtle, very, very subtle cherry fragrance on the opening of the can there straight away. Smelt like a cherry had farted in it. It wasn't exactly a strong cherry aroma. There is this lager. Crystal clear, really, really gentle carbonation running up the middle of the glass there. You might be able to pick that out. Not exactly a madman though. Apart from that tiny bit of carbonation that's flowing gently up the middle of the glass. That is pretty cool. Cool as a cucumber. It's got a good head. But I think that's just down to my exceptional pour, personally. Yeah, it's got a solid 2-finger, creamy looking white head. The lager itself is a slightly darker shade than normal. It's almost like a chestnut colour. Oaky wood kind of colour. Dark amber. Dark gold looking lager. Yeah, it has a traditional IPA look about it on the eye. Has a proper old school British IPA look on the colour. Mahogany almost, you know. But yeah, let's get me snouting. Okay, there is a bit of cherry there, but it's subtle. It's really, like I say, it's like someone squeezed a cherry into it, like one cherry into it about, 3 weeks ago. Other than that, again, a little bit of a malt aroma. But a subtle, I'm going to say it's slightly synthetic cherry aroma I'm getting. And because they haven't listed the ingredients, no one's going to correct me. But it smells slightly synthetic. Anyway, let's get stuck in. Cheers. Thin, watery, well carbonated. Slightly unpleasant bitterness at the back end. But I'm not getting any cherry. Now, disclaimer, this is the second can I've had. This is the second can I've had of this. I drank the first one in my own time, and I wasn't getting cherry on that one either. But I thought, I'll wait, I'll do the second one, I'll review it. Maybe I'll get cherry on the second one. I'm just not getting it. I'm just not getting cherry. I'm getting cherry on the aroma, which is subtle, but I'm getting no cherry on the flavour. At the front, the initial, there's a subtle sweetness there. There's a subtle sweetness there, which is maybe supposed to be the cherry. It's not strong enough. It's just not strong enough. It's annoying. It's a little bit annoying because Williams Brothers are capable of brewing a really flipping good lager. And this isn't it. This just isn't it. This is piss poor by their standards. Going on what I drunk from them early in the year, this is not a good lager. And they've plastered cherries all over it in a bright pink can, and there's barely a drop of cherry in it, for me. Obviously, everyone's taste buds are different. That is the point of these reviews. This is my personal opinion. But, I mean, if you can get a load of cherry off of that, then I'll tell you what, your palate must be massively different. The subtle sweetness hits you straight away. And it's certainly a dark fruit. It definitely imitates a dark fruit taste. But it never fully fills my palate with what is undoubtedly a cherry flavour. It never quite gets there. I can't get my words out. It never quite gets there. There's just not enough cherry in it for me. Not enough. For it to call itself a cherry lager, that should be the first thing I taste. And it just doesn't. Subtle sweetness, thin-bodied, slightly watery, gentle carbonation. A bit of bitterness at the back end, which is slightly cloying. Hangs around. Slightly unpleasant. It tastes cheap. Again, it tastes cheap. If you're brewing a beer exclusively for a supermarket, chances are it's going to be shit. And if it's in Aldi or Lidl, probably even more chance it's going to be shit. I wanted this to be good. Like I say, Simo put me onto this one. Can't remember if I mentioned Simo earlier. He recommended this to me. Simo Sups Beer Reviews. Check him out. Really lovely lad. Really good beer reviewer. He put me onto this. And I sort of said to him, I've not been in Aldi for months. I kind of gave up with Aldi after they ruined Rheinbacher. But he said, no, this is good. And I went in there to get this, and I wish I hadn't, to be honest. It tastes cheap. The fact they haven't listed the ingredients again means they haven't even bothered backing up what they've put in with it, which is just a sign of poor quality as far as I'm concerned. There's really little cherry flavour to it. Williams Brothers brew a really good lager. I think if you go onto their website, you can get their craft lager, which is like in a grey and orange can. It's a belting lager. Really good. This is shit. This is a poor example of what Williams Brothers are capable of. They're capable of a lot better. It's just not nearly enough cherry in that to call it a cherry lager. It's sweet. Not overly so, but the sweetness isn't overly cherry-ish. It's other things. There's other dark fruits in there. There's a bit of citrus in there. There's the dark berry thing going on with it. It's not enough cherry for that to be a cherry lager. And there's not enough of anything else really for it to be considered a good beer. Cheap, cheap, cheap. It was cheap to buy, cheap on the palate. It's rubbish, basically. So Aldi selling Williams Brothers Cherry Lager. Like I say, I think Williams Brothers should feel bad for putting their name on it, to be honest with you. It's kind of hidden behind everything else, but it's, yeah, they're capable of better. If you want a good lager from Williams Brothers, you will get one, but that ain't the one. That ain't the one. It's not unpleasant. I'll give that, I've got that in favour of it. It's not unpleasant, but it is poor. It is poor. It's very cheaply made, which is why it's being sold so cheap. Aldi haven't pulled off a good one here. Don't get it twisted. Aldi are still awful, and that is still a bad beer. But try it and let me know what you think in the comments below if you've had it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Did I give it a score? I can't remember if I can even be bothered. I'm going to give it a 3. I'll give it a 3, and I think I'm being generous with that. It's just cheap. For 3 out of 10 for Cherry Baby. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you have. Until my next one, you take care.